Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Talking Chickens number 36 with M&M Exhibition Poultry. Today, our special guest is Mr. Dustin Drake from the great state of Ohio, the Ohio State University, the great state of Ohio. ABA judge, new owner of Eagle's Nest Hatchery. He's been showing since he was a wee lad. We've known Dustin like forever. So we're welcoming him in today. We're going to do a little recap on the APA National, which was last week. Excuse me. We'll talk about the upcoming ABA National, which is this week. And we'll kind of go over what Dustin's got going down there, how they got started and everything. Got a couple things to talk about. Matt does on the Cowboy Magic deal and a couple of things. We found a couple of things out yesterday. Let's just say
yeah, even this old fart screw shit up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So go ahead and give him the recap there, Matty. Then we'll go ahead and start off.
You got to congratulate Dustin's grandpa Bill because I just seen today 65 years with 4-H.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's probably not too many people in the state of Ohio or even in 4-H that other than old Shirley Mulholland that probably has been in and involved that much. So that was quite a accomplishment, and it was good to see that he got recognized for it. So that's the first one. The second one's Cowboy Magic. So we in our videos for Wishing Chickens, two things that Mike maybe throw in the trash: the Cowboy Magic shampoo, because I put a little bit of that in my water, and the first bird out, which is one of the Chanticleers I was putting in the auction, turned a pretty color of self blue, so that's gone. And then it seems like certain birds with the super shine spray, it messes them up. So I'm not recommending using that, especially white birds. It seems like the thinner the feather, the more it makes them kind of stringy, which I had never had in the partridge and the blacks, but it did it to the whites. So that hit the trash too. So scratch that from the recommended product list. We still use the Cowboy Magic green spot remover. I think that's what it's called. And
Yep, that's good stuff.
You've got another one you use. I can't remember the name of it, but they're both
Me neither. It's sitting out there in the coop. It's some sort. It's a kind of a purplish looking thing.
I'll have to get a bottle and put a link of it up on the site. I think other than that, we've added all the birds we had pictures for because the ABA doesn't have a Facebook page. They're on the M&M Facebook page. So lots. And this is probably in all the years I've been doing this and we've been doing the auction. This is the best group of birds we've ever had to sell to people. So, I mean, if you're looking for something, come along because Silky's coaching, or not coaching, Silky's Old English, Moderns, Cornish. You got Chanticleers going in, which I normally don't let go, but I try to do them at these auctions when I don't have a lot to sell. The Silkies are just fantastic. Tony Davis, our friend in Florida, has probably a primo pair of whites that I'm looking forward to see what they bring. And then Patty was not to be undone. Her pair of blacks is great. The Seabrights that what's his name, Mike? I always Seabright. Johnson, I always forget his Johnson. Yeah. Kid from Florida. He's done a great job, and those look great. The Cornish from out in Illinois look good.
We've got the Polish, the white crested black Polish. We've got the call ducks from Dustin Wilson. We've got, I mean, to me, I don't know what we bring, but I mean, there's no better Dominique Bantams than Brett Thompson's, and he's donated a pair of those. Modders from Troy LaRoche, Old English from Jimmy Soros. I mean, if you want it, we've got a lot of stuff if you want to start. Just bring your checkbook, bid early, bid often, and sign your name correctly. That's
we did add today. I finally got around. I have a shadow box that Emily made for me years ago that's got some old original A.O. Schilling black coaching pics from the 30s and 40s. So there's 4 pictures in a big wood shadow box. I stuck that picture up there. There's 3 bundles of old ABA yearbooks. I think there's 8 or 9 yearbooks in each bundle, and some of them go back quite a ways, and some of them are fairly new, but it's kind of interesting. And then the original 1965 Bantam Standard, I have one of those that I stuck in the auction, so those will be in there. Kim Munden's got some of her prints, which are always, we've got several of them hanging on the walls here. They're beautiful. I think she's got a black and white picture of Wyandottes and some loons, which I may get just to remind me what I am. A little loony. And I think that's about it. Well, Mike can talk a little bit, or we can all talk, because we all made the big trip on Thursday to Arkansas and back. So we had a good time out there and ate well, had good time, got a lot of chatting done. So I think that's it. Columbus is coming up. The only thing we did do, we have the old ABA yearbooks that we were trying to get rid of, and every junior at Moon City, Dayton, and Columbus will get a yearbook, an older yearbook to look through. And Tim Johnson was here today, and he picked up the rest of them. And when you go to Columbus and you're a junior, you get a nice package. They give you all kinds of stuff that's in there, pencils, pens, pins, all kinds of things that come in that package. So you will have a yearbook in there. And looks like that's the way to go.
We did it for Jacob. Jacob, too.
Yeah, we did it for Arkansas as well. So that seemed to be a big hit for the kids. And Columbus is all set up and ready to go, and it looks nice. And we'll be down there early Friday morning to get in there before the fray. So
that's right. And then on to Arkansas. It was a nice show. We missed. He was there, Marty Abrahamson, but keep him in your prayers. Good man. But we had a really good time. I got to judge I did the Mediterraneans and the Americans and Asiatics parts of them, and I was real happy to have the white Wyandotte Jonathan Patterson's up on Champion Row. If you want to know what a Wyandotte supposed to look like, he ended up being Super Grand Champion of the show, and folks, that's what a Wyandotte is supposed to look like. Large fowl or bantam. Jonathan did a great job. Had Ron clerking for me most of the day. He'd step away a couple times, but we had a really good time judging. Champion Bantam was a really nice Black Old English by Peyton Igo. Again, nice bird. Good condition. The junior shows I thought was some excellent birds, Matt. The American large fowl was absolutely wonderful in my opinion, as was the Champion Bantam, which was the junior was a black Americana cockerel, and he was wonderful. So whatever junior had those, he did a hell of a job, and they were in really good condition. Go ahead, Mandy.
That's a big win for Americanas. And there was one on Champion Row also in the open show, but I actually liked the bird in the junior show better. The male in the junior show was fantastic, and then I judged in the juniors. I judged the Bantam, all of their comb clean leg, and there was only just a few, and that bird just stuck out in perfect condition, which is really hard for them because normally they always have a little problem in the tail or something. He had a gorgeous beard. I mean, this is a nice bird, probably a near perfect pea comb. And then in the open show, I did single comb clean legs, all except for leghorns and knickknacks. And probably one of the best, I think, class of White Rock Bantams have seen in a long time. And
as a whole, they were very good.
Everybody walked down the aisle that, oh my, and then the Rhode Island Reds were no slouch either. That was the Red National, and there was a few of them that could have went home with me, I think, and I'd been back in the red business. So big chickens, I didn't do anything but the Rhode Island Reds. So Mike got the rest of them. So lots of waterfowl, lots of nice waterfowl. Dustin was in on some of that. Pretty good weather for the weekend. It was a hard frost every morning when we got up, but it tended to warm up as the days went on. And the Pauline Whitaker facility is just gorgeous. So that's a great place to have a show with the bleachers and the facilities. We got to mention our friends Ben Porter, Steve Beatty, and Terry Britt got recognized for in the APA meeting. So that was neat to see them get recognized and all together. And I think that's about Jacob Bates, Aaron and Kara Baker, Jake Stoneberger, Marty Abrahamson. Like you said, keep him in your prayers. He's not doing well, but it's a show that's put on by just very few people. And, as we have to appreciate that because, they were busy all weekend. And I'm sure they slept well on Monday.
Oh, I'm
And,
sure.
and I mean, even like Mark Dooms from Washington
Yeah.
State, he came in early and he was helping set up the show. So kudos to Mark. That was a really good thing to do. It was a nice thing to do. It's to take, and he will be in Columbus this weekend. Was going home and then flying back out here. So it's not like. And folks, I want you all to understand when we talk about nationals here and nationals there and who shows up. That's all volunteer. That
Mhm.
bill is our bill. We pay our own way there, no matter where the national is. I mean, if you get to judge a national, well, it helps some, but you still, y- yeah. So all that stuff that's on whoever your refs are that show up. They're footing their own damn bill. Just so they've got skin in every game because they're there and they paid their own way. So and kudos to them that go. That means it's important to them. So
Mhm.
and Dustin was our wheelman. What a wheelman he was.
Yes.
That is, I can't. I like that show, but man, getting there and back just that's the longest, whatever the hell many hours that is in the history of mankind. The only thing longer from here is when you go across Missouri and you go into Shawnee. That's a
Yes.
long one too. It's just
And we three have made that trip before.
Dennis, we made that trip before. So yeah, that's how you choose to go. But we choose to get it. We could bitch all the way there and all the way home, but we chose to go.
Yeah.
And then we choose to go back, and then we bitch again. But so that's the name of the game. So, but it's good once you get there. A lot of good people. That was really great. And then fast forward to this weekend, we'll be down there early on Friday. Probably no real reason to be there that early, but we're going.
We're going.
Uh,
Gosh, I forgot. I had talked to probably 50 people that watch this. So thanks, number one. And thanks for the feedback. Got some recommendations on people to have and things like that. But I was just amazed. A lot of people I don't even know. One woman told me she's watched them several times, that she just loves it. And she watches all the shorts that Mike puts on YouTube. So good deal. Thank you. I'm glad people are watching, and hopefully we're getting some help out there, or if not, like I said, don't use the blue stuff. But other than that, it was interesting to talk to different people from all over the country. That everybody's got a different situation, so it's great to hear that and get that feedback and some ideas on what to do down the road. My thing on my phone's already about 4 pages long, so we're gonna catch up before we start adding some more stuff. So.
Yeah, and with that, like, subscribe, share. That would be great. We've got a little over the halfway point to 500. We're at 261, I think, as of this recording on YouTube. So make sure when you go in there, uh, sign up, join. We got a lot more viewers than join, but they're back every week. Appreciate that. But hit a like. A like makes us show up. Makes the shorts show up. We've had some shorts have 10,000 views. I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that and on Facebook, we've blown up pretty good on Facebook and Spotify.
Both those have really picked up. Facebook the last 28 days, we're at 700,000 views on Facebook, which is crazy. Yeah. We're over 6,000 subscribers. And then I just showed Mike yesterday when he was down here washing birds. Spotify's really kicked in. So I know a lot of people listen to it while they're doing their chores or in the car or whatever. And that's going too. So all those, thank you for following us all along on all that. Try to just keep the podcast on Spotify, and we put all the little accessory stuff over on Facebook and YouTube.
Right.
I think that's about it. That's all I got. We'll let Dustin talk for a little bit.
But we are sponsored. We're sponsored as always by Rozier Poultry Supplies. There's an affiliate link that is linked in all this stuff, the hatching time, and those that have used it, thank you. Appreciate it. That's a great way to help support the channel.
I did.
Yes, he did. And the other ones, we appreciate that. And dun, 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 Eagle's Nest Hatchery. And to that point, I'd like to welcome in our buddy Dustin Drake. And he's the owner, proprietor, builder, and all that good.
He got that out. I would have bet against it.
I get a bite. Proprietor of Eagle's Nest, Mr. Dustin Drake. Dustin, welcome in, my friend.
Oh, nice to be here with you guys. You know, it's been a great friendship. You know, like you guys talked about a little bit earlier. You know, I've known you since I was just a wee little guy, right, running around with my grandpa, and grew up with you guys, learned a lot, and I want to thank you guys for everything there. You know, helping me along the way and scolding me too. I'm going to say that I've been scolded by both of you before. I may have not listened, but I heard it. That will say that, right?
You didn't listen. You heard it, but you didn't listen to us.
Maybe that's not a good idea. And then the last line was, "I told you so."
Yep, exactly. I told you not to do that.
Why in the sun? Why the hell did you do that again?
Yeah,
but hey, we all live and learn.
I didn't get beat up enough, Mike and Matt. So let's give it one more time, right?
Yeah, keep going.
But no, it's been a great friendship, and I know a lot of more years to come, right? And as we talked, you know, what was one of the conversations that we had when we were, you know, driving to Arkansas. I remember Matt sitting up front with me, and I looked over at him. I said, "You realize, Matt, that we never go to a show just around the corner. It's always 1,000 miles away."
It's always a major road trip. I'm glad he's driving. I got to do a little driving myself, but it can be a.
But yeah,
I thought that was all three of us go our own way, or we all go together, and it's always a fun time. Plus, we get to eat at the Blue Note or Blue. What the hell's the name of the place? I always screw it up. Blue Springs Cafe in Highland, Illinois. So we stopped on the way out and on the way back. So that's always the highlight of our trips that way, because they got really good food. So
it's always kind of like that halfway point when you hit that, you know, you're like, we're almost home, right?
Yep. So we're downhill. So
yeah, but it's been great. You know, I guess a little bit of a background with me, you know, like I've talked about, you know, just I've been in poultry for a very long time, almost 30 years now. 29 years actually this year. I started before in 4-H, got involved with just always had a liking for birds, I guess. Grew up on a dairy farm, so knew how to work and all that type of stuff, right? But we always had birds and big geese running around. I just was fascinated by that stuff. And then, you know, one thing, more or less the same thing that goes with everything. You start with something and then it just blooms from there, right? You know, we got to try this, we got to try that, we got to try this. I remember and a lot of people always talk about the very first thing they ever had. And the very first thing that I ever had, and I was a year before I was in 4-H, we were over at Wapakoneta, at the Wapakoneta show in the old Wapakoneta building. I'll never forget that. I do not remember the gentleman's name by any means, never see him again, but I was walking down this aisle and he had 3 great big rows of salmon Faverolles Bantams. And I will never forget that. I mean, they were phenomenal. I mean, I can still remember
his name.
You probably know his name.
Mike Stappich. He was from Michigan.
That
he was a show dog guy, and he got into Faverolles, and he was just in there a little bit. And but he always come to our show because he didn't have a dog show that weekend. So
well, they were phenomenal. I'll never forget that. And like I said, it was a year before I was even in 4-H. I wasn't even old enough yet. And we were just looking for birds to put in the show string, you know, our string men when we were with my grandpa and stuff. And they were there. And I remember Grandpa and I looking through them and said, and I bought 2 trios out of there. And that's literally what I really started with. That was the very first exhibition birds I got. And it just went from there. I remember that year because that was an early spring show. So brought them home, put them in pens, and immediately started hatching a bunch of chicks. Right. And it just grew from there. It really did. It was, you know, there's been things I've heard about me and stuff, you know, Dust was always like, you know, cream on the top of milk. It rose to the top, whatever the fastest way to get there. Right. I was going to try to do it. And, but that's where it started. And what some of us, we talk about is a sickness, right. You know?
Yeah.
And, it's incurable. That's for sure. But it grew from there. That's where I started. And then the very first, waterfowl I ever had was white calls from The guy in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Don Cray.
Don Cray. There you go. I could see him stand there, but from Don
I
Cray.
can't remember my own name, but I can remember all those names. That's
All those
crazy.
names. Don Cray was that was the very first waterfowl I ever had. Was a pair of white call ducks, and it was a couple years into 4-H, and I wanted to do a waterfowl project. And I want to say it was at Wapakoneta too, because we went to that show every spring religiously.
You say that, I remember he came every year. Don's a good friend, but
Yep.
Don always had to go to mass on Sunday.
Yeah.
And every year I would always give him the times in the church and where to get to, and he would always go to mass and he would come coop out. But I think we had that show maybe 10 years, and I don't think he ever missed it. He was always there.
He was always there. And I'm almost positive that's probably where I got them too. I don't remember, but I got a pair of white calls from him, and I will never forget I was at 4-H and had champion waterfowl, but and they were really good, but the little white call male was meaner than a snake, and he ripped the buttons off the judge's coat. I will never forget that. I mean, the judge was holding him up, looking at him, and he just grabbed his button right there and just ripped it right off.
Yeah.
And he goes, he's a feisty little fellow. And I said, oh yeah, he was, but he was champion waterfowl and went on from there. But that was the very first waterfowl I had. And that was the very first exhibition, chickens I had. And then of course we went from there. We always had, I talked about where we stringed, with grandpa and everything. We have almost everything you could possibly think of. The highest number we ever took to Ohio State Fair was 750 birds that we showed. And that was waterfowl and chickens, and everything was 4 deep, cock, hen, cockerel, pullet. And then there was a lot of big classes that we kind of specialized in. We raised a lot of white rock large fowl, which originally from Hallback line. We had big Wyandottes from Jonathan there. We had big Langshangs, big Langshangs from the guy out in Delaware. I can't remember these names.
Well, that's because you're old.
I know, right? Shelby Harrington. Harrington. Yep. We had big Langshan, and we also had white rocks from him too, also. But the majority of our white rocks, though, did come from the Hallbacks. And I remember, walking around with Harry, and he'd say, what do you need in the fall, Dust? And and I'd say, can you bring me a tree or this or the other? And we'd show up at the Ohio National, right? And he'd grab me, and I'd been just a little guy, and down the walkway, and he said, and he'd flip a card over, and he said, and it had my name on the back of it. I always just thought that was the coolest thing in the world, right? And he said, Dust, he says, it wouldn't matter if that bird was on Champion Road, that's the one you're going home with. And I said, okay. But anyway, so I remember that stuff, and but we moved through there. Like I said, we showed a lot, and we went to three state fairs. Is how it kind of started, right? We went to Ohio State and Indiana State and Kentucky State Fair. And then we went to about a half a dozen county fairs. And it was, just a week after week, and birds in and out of the trailer, and the barns were set up. I think Mike and Matt, you'd seen them at certain times. We had the big barns up there. They were all set up with show cages, rows and rows and rows of show cage. Everything was individually cooped, or big males were double cooped, and we'd wash before every state fair. And yeah.
Well, you learned. I mean, you learned it.
Yes.
And, I always called your grandpa the checkbook.
Yeah.
And the checkbook liked his chickens. Now let me tell you, whatever that boy wanted, that boy got. And
every year, Bill would come at Walpuck. He goes, "What do you got for me?" So anything I had left over or didn't use, I said it all went to Bill into the fair string.
Yep.
And he said, "What do you owe me?" And I said, "A cup of coffee."
A cup of coffee. Yep. Yeah. There was always, we did a lot of traveling, and we went to just one day shows, kind of, there were certain shows, the Southeastern show down there, we always went to there and showed. And then the older I got, then I started traveling a little bit more. Grandpa, he didn't like to be away on the weekends,
right?
And stuff, and which was okay. And so then I started going to some little farther shows as I got a little older and could travel by myself and stuff. But we strung for about, I think, 12 years. And we had a 24-foot aluminum stock trailer, my show trailer for cattle, and we'd line that sucker with pens and Pullman coops, clear the ceiling, and then stack them down through the middle. And then the waterfowl the ducks were all crated, and the geese were all up, run loose in the front, and they had a ramp, and we'd pull over, and yeah. So we had a lot of stuff done. We traveled a lot when we got into breeding birds and stuff a lot. One of the big things was we left Easter. I'll never forget this either. We left Easter morning. I was 16. I just got my license the year before and left Easter morning after church. and drove to Oklahoma, and we loaded up when Superior sold out. We bought 800 large fowl that year. I'll never forget that either. 800 large fowl. And Danny Paget was down there. Terry Britt was there. That's when I first met Terry. Back when Superior, he was down there helping. I knew Danny. Danny, helped me get some stuff, certain things and sort it out. And when I was looking for something and such, and he said, no, you don't want that one. Come over down this pin. This is what you want here, So, but worked there and of course, just went on from there. And then, so now that kind of leads into, I guess, why I'm really on here is because of this new adventure that I've taken on right now. And some people have looked at me and said, I've lost my mind.
You got to have a dream, buddy. You're fulfilling a dream. That's what life's all about. Because when it's done, it's done.
It's done. It was a dream that I thought would never come true. And it was a fascination that I was thrilled from a very, very young boy that I have always wanted to have a hatchery. And it was, like I said, I rolled things around in my head for years, exactly how I was going to do it, what I wanted to do, how I was, putting things into play and who I wanted to be on, could say on the team, right. To help me, because I knew I couldn't do it myself and I needed experience from other people. And, but what sealed the deal really was when I was at Superior Farm. And I know Superior Farm was not really set up to push out numbers or anything like that, but that there was a phenomenal thing. Right. It was, I had in my head then, I was like, okay, one of these days we're going to try this somehow. Right. And to help people. But moved into, and that's how it started all into that. And then of course, fast forward through all the years and, stringing stopped and went into raising, chickens. I thought, okay, we cannot string and raise this many, all these colors of Leghorns and Mediterranean breeds and Americans and all this. We've got to slow down, Dustin. You've got to concentrate on something. So in 2016 is when I really took a hard look of when I kind of quit stringing and said, Dust, what do you want to raise? And that's when I got into Orpingtons. I loved the Orpingtons. Most people in the poultry world, if you know me and stuff, that's one of my favorites. Right. And I got my black Orpingtons. And they come originally from Patty Zimmerman is where I originally started with, which was some, other people's line stuff. Danny had some line in there and everything. Started there and that's where it went on from there. And those are my favorites and, move on from there. And we've got into buffs now and got them in 2000, I think it was 19, 18 or 20 or something. I got into buffs.
I think it was 19.
19. Yeah. 2019 when I got on them. And then of course I've always had large cochins. We have always had black cochins, and then here most recently in the last about 3 years now, I think 3 or 4 years now, I've been really working with the white cochins, and I think my work is 4 years is 4. Okay, 4 years. Mike knows these numbers when I decided to get into this stuff.
You don't know why he went to the barn, but he knows that day.
Yeah, exactly. He knows when I first got him, because I would probably at one point in time I said, "Hey, Mike, this is what I'm going to do. What do you think?"
Well, one time you said it, and I said, "There, take all them white bitches on the ground, and get them out of here."
Get them out of here, right? And but started with the white cochins, and I think after the past 4 years, so I think a lot of the hard work that is it's now paying off, right? And I was extremely happy and you guys could seen them and stuff, and it's like, wow, they're really starting to shape up and stuff,
Well, Champion Asiatic at Greenville on a white cochin was, after Matt got done doing some work, it was a great bird.
Yeah.
And I was happy that it got where it did, but that's hard because whites have kind of struggled for a long time, and to see one go that high is in a nice class of Asiatics to boot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Along with the blacks and the Langshanks and everything there, so, but yeah, so that's what the specializing breeds, is I raise black and buff Orpingtons, black and white black Langshanks, sorry, black and white Cochins, and Matt, Mike, they just cringe when I say Langshanks. And then White Rocks, we have White Rock large fowl, and then in Mediterranean we have light brown Leghorns, and then we have a couple of little bantams that we play around with a little bit. I'm more of a large fowl guy, right? But
Oh,
we have,
yeah.
but we have black Wyandottes that we play with. I really do like them, thoroughly enjoy them. And then buff Brahmas and light Brahmas I play with a little bit there, here and there. And then of course the menagerie of waterfowl, right?
Yep, there's.
That's a good word for it.
I don't know that I've ever, when we was at the house there in the farm, I've ever seen that much waterfowl in one place other than Canadian geese on the reservoir in the spring. So yeah, so that's a lead in, because one thing where we wanted to get you on here was kids are always looking for stuff for 4-H and fairs and to get started with. So you're going to fill a niche, I think, that they need. Instead of buying just common hatchery birds, they're going to get some quality stuff. And I don't care what breed or variety they want. I didn't see too many. I didn't see any bad birds running around out there. So what you're going to put together when you start the hatchery up, I think is a good option for people that if you have to do day olds, it's going to be a place where they can go get them, where I'm not afraid to send them.
Yeah.
That's always the thing. Sometimes it's a hit and miss, but you know enough about birds, and you're a judge now, you know how to sort and breed, and hopefully we can ramp up production enough to where you can get these out to people and fill the demand. I think you're going to be swamped.
Yeah. And I guess that's what we want, right? We want to be, when the dream came to fruition, right? Of when my good friends, right? Bill and Kate Karcher, I'll mention their name in here, because without, they are the heart and soul behind Eagle's Nest Hatchery, and then giving me the opportunity to buy it from them and withhold that and make it grow from there. I remember when Bill, we were talking about doing this and that and the other with everything, and finalized everything there. And he says, "Dust," he says, "it's yours." He says, "and now the only place you can go," he says, "is grow it, grow it, grow it." He said, "We are at the age where we don't want to grow no more. We want to kind of slow down." And he said, "And you're young enough. That's the whole point behind this business, is to grow it." And that's what we plan to do here at Eagle's Nest Hatchery. And, along with, like with what Matt was saying just a little bit ago, along with, we will have all the production birds and through it, from laying hens, the broilers and the turkeys and everything, to help those 4-H kids and those 4-H market projects and laying pullet projects and all of that. We will keep all of that stuff and help anybody we possibly can, and always make sure you reach out to us and go from there. Some of our staff, right? But the biggest thing that is the pride and joy behind it, right, is that we're able to offer that exhibition side in the hatchery.
I thought that was the pride and joy and the biggest thing you had behind it.
Yes, Mike. but yeah,
it says right on the cards that it says pride and joy. It doesn't say when I'm in charge of, just pride and joy.
Pride and joy, right? But yes, we are going to have a very strong line of numerous varieties of waterfowl and turkeys and Bantam chickens and large fowl, right? And on the exhibition side, I mean, these are some breeds that we're still going to be working with, a lot of different things, but there are going to be some breeds and varieties, right, that are in the hatchery that, like you said, Matt, that there will be no questions asked to send the kid to us, and if we can help them, these birds are going to be able to compete, very, very well.
I mean, it's definitely a niche that, since, I don't know if you're old enough to ever remember going to Hallbacks, but I almost cried when that went under, because that was the place to go, especially for rare and oddball stuff. And then, Harry, same thing. Harry and Vi got older, and they needed to retire, and nobody wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And then Bill and Kay have supplied Ohio 4-H kids for years,
for 45 years.
Production birds and even out-of-state kids. But I think what it needed was to go to that next level, and I think you're going to be able to do that, get more modernized, get more computerized, get some things that they just didn't care to do. And I think definitely there's a market for it, and it's just we just never had anybody filling that market. So we're looking forward to the spring, and I'll have to come over and see this thing, and when they're kicking out. And
oh yeah, most definitely. So as with that even being said, we're moving right along, right? So at this point in the game right now, we're probably past 90% done. It's when you build this big a facility, right? Okay, because if, like most people know me, nothing was done small, right? And that was the idea behind it, because I didn't want to build something now to turn around in 2 or 3 years and say, oh my, we've got to add another addition on, right? So we started out big right from the beginning. So we had room to work and have expansion to grow over the next X amount of years, right? Before we have to knock a wall down and add another 100 feet.
Yeah, there you go.
And if people know who with me and everything, that was in Mike, right? And I've talked with Mike, and he's sitting there smiling because he knows exactly what he said. The plan has already been drawn up, right? When the wall comes down, how far we're going out, where the fence line's at. The Amish guys already knew, build this wall. It needs to be built just like this so we can pull it down when the time has come to add on, right?
And let me add to that, Dustin, that people that are watching is, you bought the hatchery.
Yeah.
But all these buildings are brand new at your place.
Yes.
And we're not talking about some chicken coops. These buildings are freaking enormous.
They are. Each breeding barn is as long as a football field.
And we're talking, I apologize I didn't get anything. Listen, folks, I'm going there tomorrow. We will have some shorts I'm going to do on my phone because I'm for shit for editing at this time. So I'm going to have some shorts and stuff while I'm there. Yeah. But I'll have some shorts and stuff, and they will follow. I mean, you talk about absolutely beautiful. It's kind of like I told Dusty, he said, picture said, man, it's going to be hard to have chicken shit on those walls.
Well, that's
walls and white ceilings, and the barns are absolutely gorgeous. Lit cupolas. I mean, my porch on the front of the damn thing is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's a really nice facility. Having toured there when we come back from Bath, Mike and I stopped by to see. Oh, you were probably about halfway done, I'd say, maybe then, or maybe not quite that much. But one of the advantages is going to be, as the one thing great about Bill and Kay is a lot of people could go pick their stuff up there.
Yes.
They didn't have to rely on shipping. That's kind of a double-edged sword because a lot of people have to have them shipped. But the facility is gorgeous, and you'll be able to go in there. He's going to have a little shop area where you can get chick supplies or whatever, partnering with the Roziers and some of our friends. But the great thing is, we were talking the other day about he'll have overruns and things, and you can go there and get them. I mean, from here in Lima, you're about an hour and a half away. You're real close to 71. You're real close to Columbus. You're real close to Cleveland. You're just kind of, if you had to put a bullet hole in the middle of Ohio, that's where pretty much where Mount Gilead is. So that's a great advantage.
It's only 2 hours, like from my door here over by Toledo.
Yeah.
Right till I'm sitting on the porch there. It's just 2 hours, and it's easy drive.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is easy. Everything is real nice highway. There'll be signs up. You'll know exactly where you are when you go to. You'll never pass it. Believe me, you'll never pass it. You will know exactly where the hell that place is when you start down that road. So no, I'm real excited about it. Guess I'm going to unretire.
I know, right?
Again. And listen, butthole, this is all your fault. Every time I've unretired, I've retired, you got me to unretire.
That is correct. That is correct.
But listen, I'm really looking forward to it. And besides the bird aspect, and doing all of us can do to make sure that the quality of everything that goes in is as good as we could get, and we will keep improving that quality.
100%.
You've got a whole lot of years of just general knowledge of poultry, not just you, but some of the key people that are helping with this, with your dream.
Yeah.
To do the best that can be done, and give out the best for the fancy. It's not just for you, Dustin, but that's great. But it's helping those that are constantly frustrated because they think they're getting something, and truthfully, they get shit.
Yeah.
And it gets so tiring as a judge that actually, like we are, to go, and even when you do county fairs, you get that, what can I do to make them better? And you don't like telling the kids that you'll never live long enough
Yeah.
with what you got. You have to get better stock. Well, I don't know where.
Yeah.
Or, they're not going to pay $300 a pair, or you name it, for whatever. So while they might not have that $300 pair when they're good, $300, they could get enough chicks. They'll have one or two or three or four that can start them to the destination they want to go. And and you never know. Hell, that might be the destination that's in that box of fluffiness.
Yep. I agree. Yep, I agree.
And I think
that's what we want to. That's what we want to do.
Yeah,
here.
and I think that's the for me anyway. That's the end goal.
Mhm.
Is to increase all. When the tide comes in, all boats go up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing, is to get it where the dog people and the horse people and all that. Well, the chicken people. I mean, we're basically the bottom rung.
Yeah.
When there's a hell of a lot more chickens and waterfowl out there than everything else.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if we could get to where county fairs all over the country.
Yeah.
Those 4-H'ers can get what they need at a reasonable price,
Mhm.
and see what they got. And we're not going to ever do any of that shitty ass false advertising and all these outrageous claims. That ain't happening.
No, it will not happen here. At the end of the day, the name's going to be attached to it, and I stand behind it. Right.
Exactly. And and it's, it's your name and that, but I mean, the rest of us,
Yeah.
We go everywhere.
Yep. Exactly.
So the thing is that they know. So
the goal is, at the end of the day, right? In a couple years, right? You and Matt or somewhere, or Terry, right, or somewhere, is judging, and they run along some really nice birds, right? Whatever it may be. And all of a sudden you ask that kid, hey, where did you get those? And they say, oh, we got them from Eagle's Nest Hatchery.
Yeah.
Right?
We got a box.
That's what we want to do here. We want at the hatchery. We want to help the fancy, whatever way we can. We want to help our commercial farm line clients, people, the homesteaders and all that. We're going to help them, whatever we need can do, and just keep things going, and keep that Eagle's Nest, that the name that everyone's known for over 100 years, and just keep going, just keep evolving it, right? Like you kind of said, Matt, modernize a little more, just keep.
We know it's going to be a process. Believe me, I've been in business all my life, and I've started most of them from that bottom level. And I know what you're going through, and you got to get all those systems in place. And for what I've seen from the outside looking in, you've got a good grasp on the facility part of it. And then those systems of, sorting chicks and getting chicks at the right times. Because it's almost like the produce business. The stuff doesn't get better the older it gets. So it has to, with day olds, especially with shipping, they have to go out right now.
Yep.
And so I think that's some of the advantage you have with the pickup at the place, and then having like an overrun thing. And I told you, when on our trip at the end of the year, if you've got extra breeding stock, we'll just have us an auction.
Yes.
And I know that was some great things at some of the pigeon people do that. They, at the end of the season, they have a bunch of them come together and auction off breeding pairs or whatever. And that's a neat idea to get people there.
That's a fantastic idea. I didn't even think about, that auction thing till you said that. But our goal was, that a lot of the exhibition stuff, we will hold over. If we don't sell it, and we're going to grow it out, and we'll have breeding stock for sale, later fall time and stuff like that, to help whatever we can there. But when you were we were talking about that on the way to Arkansas. I think that was a cool idea when you were saying the pigeon people do that.
Yep. That's kind of a good way to get rid of stock, and it's a good way for people all to come together and buy stock. So
Yep.
So lots of things to do. I'm looking forward to getting cranked up. What's the projection? When's your first hatch, I guess?
So the projections right now, like I said, we're planning to move machines in here in the next couple of weeks, about the week before Thanksgiving or week of Thanksgiving. That's kind of, the electrical guys are just, like I said, we are to the point of this mega facility, right? Has all went up really fast, right? And then whenever you're building a house, it's all the small stuff that takes forever to get done.
Inside work, we call it.
Yep, the inside work, getting all done. But I've got fantastic people, working on my my HVAC stuff and electrical, systems and stuff. So we've got they're working tirelessly every day, right? Getting everything done. But like I said, planning on moving machines and everything a week before Thanksgiving or of Thanksgiving. Then I have an inspection with the state and everything in December to make sure we get, following protocols for MPIP and all of that. I was actually working with them today. I had a couple different conference calls with them earlier this morning. We're right on schedule with them. And then we will set the first set of eggs the week of the 6th of January.
Okay.
So
first of the year, folks,
Yep.
we'll definitely keep it, because in the winter we'll be on here more than you probably want us. We don't have anything else to do. Mike might not be; he might be busy, but I'll be on here.
Yeah,
that's all right.
I would like you to.
We'll have really good Wi-Fi at the hatchery.
There we go. Yeah, we'll have him remote from over there.
I would like to have you move all them big machines the week before Thanksgiving, because I'll be in California.
We'll just wait till he gets back.
Yeah, there you go. I would suggest doing it then.
Yes. But no, we're getting machines put into place. We've got a lot of big machines. We actually, we actually added machines for the capacity, right? Because that was one of the things that Bill did tell me. He said we are at full capacity. It's time to grow. So I did add 3 more machines. I added 2 I-32s and another I-40. Which will give us more capacity to hatch, chickens, ducks, geese, turkeys, wherever we need to, from there. Of course, added more hatchers and stuff. The hatchery alone, the hatchery and we'll do a video, like everyone's on here to talk about. So then everyone can see it and, tours and stuff like that. We're trying to have an open house before we get up and running, before eggs are set. So then for biosecurity, people can come and see if they want to, right? Come look at the facility, all about people looking at it and seeing where their chicks are coming from. We want to share this great adventure, right, of mine, right? And I want to share it with everyone. Anyone that wants to pay attention, let's do it, because I think it's a great thing. And it's something that, like I said in the beginning, it was a dream that I always wanted. And when this whole dream, it has been forever, but this whole started actually almost a year ago in December, this whole process.
Yeah, just about exactly a year.
Yep. Of thinking, of talking with the Karchers and everything. And it was just a random question to them, and it went from there. That's how it all started. Yeah. And like I said,
they were. It was funny. They were at the time of their life. They were looking to
slow down,
to retire, and you just happened to.
I happened to say something at the right time. Yep.
At the right time, and they thought.
Yep.
And it took a while.
I'll never forget though, when we were talking though, Kay looked at me. She goes, "Oh, Dust, you don't want this."
So she warned you up front.
She did warn me up front, but they have been phenomenal people to work with. They really have. I mean, I can't thank them enough for everything. I mean, I'll be laying in bed at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I will shoot Bill a text message. And sometimes I even get a message back at that time. I'm thinking, what in the world is he texting me back or the morning, right? And he's like, such this or that or the other, right? But the
great thing is, I mean, you grew up on a dairy farm, and you've had livestock all your life, but you grew up on a dairy farm.
Yeah.
So that means every day, twice a day, 365 days a year, you have things to do, because they don't give a shit if you don't. It's like the horses at the racetrack. They don't care if you're sick. They don't care anything. Things have to be done every single day. And I think that besides your knowledge of running some pretty big operations for other people, and doing very well at them, and progressing and flying up ladders there and stuff, that's going to set very good for what you're entering into. Except now you can't quit.
Now I can't quit, right?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is there's nobody to blame when you're the boss, so it all stops right there. So
it all stops right there. If something
happens,
it's my fault. I'm going to turn up, Matt.
There's nobody to blame but you. Don't you blame me.
Oh man, but no, it is going to be a lot of fun. It is, people have asked me, hey Dust, are you stressed? And I said, oh yes, to the max. I mean, the tea kettle is boiling. And but I say, you know, it's a good stress. It really is.
Yeah, there's different kinds.
Yeah,
It's
there's
kind of like
excitement too.
I tell every show secretary, it's always hellacious up until 9 o'clock when we start judging.
Yep.
I said, then all your problems go away. Well, it's going to be that way till that first batch of eggs hatches and gets put in the box. And once you got that first weekend, you're going to think either what the hell was I thinking, or this is fun. There's two ways to go there.
There's two ways to go there. Yep, exactly. But yeah, we will. That's, you know, we, like I said, we have a very wide variety of waterfowl, from geese and ducks, and then of course all the Bantam chickens and large fowl that we will be offering and stuff. The catalog is pretty well done. I know you guys were kind of proofreading it when we were going down to Arkansas on some stuff there. We've got a fine tuning a couple other things, but otherwise it's pretty well set, which is good. That took a lot of work to do, and I had some great help with. I'm going to mention some of their names on here. You know, just nice. No, I had some great help. But you know, Sarah Bates was one of them. I'm going to throw her name out there. She's been a phenomenal help with me. And just like Mike said, I still am. I'm working my full-time job as a director of operations for Pritchard Facility Services, running 6 states and everything, you know, and running this too, right? But I've had a lot of people help. Mike, you've helped a lot with their. Rozier Poultry Supply, I know, is a sponsor here. They're phenomenal. They've been huge cheerleaders for me too. Caitlin and Kim both. Tim, of course, he always gives me a hard time about everything, right? But Caitlin and Kim have been working tirelessly, and all 3 of us, but tirelessly, you know, helping me, you know, design the website on what we need to do and this and that, and getting, you know, bios put together and of all the people that are going to be involved in it. And there's it's just a lot of the little small stuff, but we're climbing that ladder quickly and we're moving right along. And but it's all coming together. So we've just little things at a time, you know, just like today I finalized up, you know, I was working with the NPIP people here in this, you know, whole association. Making sure I've got all my NPIP numbers and when testing's got to fall and stuff. So we've got all of that stuff. So that just checks off another box there, and and I've got the number now, and we'll get things tested about the middle of December, because that's how it falls. So then that's when they need to have that stuff done for the hatchery, because every 6 months they have to do that for the hatchery. And
those of you that require NPIP hatch papers for your fairs and stuff, you'll have all that.
They'll have all of that. They'll have a copy and everything. Anybody gets chicks from us, I mean, if we ship them to you, you'll get them. If you come to the farm here and pick up, you'll get them. And even if and one of the other things too, that we will offer a delivery service. If we have the ability to do it, we will be running vans on delivery day and stuff. These are for big orders. Even if you don't have a big order, if you have a smaller order, right, but we're in the route of the big orders that we're delivering, we'll be more than happy to help you there, you know, so you can stay out of the post office and stuff. But we've got lots of stuff happening, lots of things quickly happening, but moving right along and stuff with everything. And it's going to be, on the breeding barns, the waterfowl barns, like I said, we said they're as long as a football field, 300 feet long. And so we'll have the waterfowl barns is pretty well done. We got to get a little more gravel in that to level it all off after they put all the siding and insulation. We left it a little lower so it'd be easier for them to work. The electrical is in it. The exhaust fans are here. They just need to be installed. So the waterfowl barn is pretty well done. And then the exhibition breeding barn for the chickens. We'll have start out with, we will not have the full entire thing. We'll use some storage on the one end, but we'll have 65 breeding pens in it. And they're 14 foot deep. Each of those breeding pens are. We have the exhaust fans here. They're ready to be installed too. The lighting is already started in that barn. And then I did get a call from one of my Amish guys that is actually prefabbing all the building, the pens for me, the breeding pens. He said, we've got a stack of them done for you, Dust. So I'm going to get them puppy picked up tomorrow to get them out of his way, and he can keep right on moving right along. So everything's coming together. I know when I was out in the hatchery earlier, the HVAC guy was there and it was freezing inside. I said, "What are you doing, John?" He goes, "I'm testing the air conditioners," he said.
It's really a nice facility from just our tour. So I'm looking forward to getting open and getting people over there to get some birds. That's the end goal. So
yes, it is. It is. At the end of the day, we want to help everybody that we possibly can. Just kind of as we're wrapping things up here with what everybody's talking about. If you guys need to get a hold of me, get a hold of Mike and Matt. Get your email or something over to them, right? And we'll get you on our catalog list. Catalogs will probably go out about the mid-December. So if you're wanting a catalog from us, or then when we have the website up, I'll definitely get that to you guys so you guys can post that up there for us when you guys are doing things. Yep. The website, but the website will have all of the breeds that we offer, even from the farm lines, the commercial lines to the exhibition. All the pricing and everything will be on there, and it will have a PDF order form that you'll be able to fill out on there and email it to us or mail it to us, whatever you want to do. We will not be taking online orders. Everything will be emailed or that way, and then we'll get you in our hatch book. And it's just like any other order form. Of course, put a date on there that you're trying to want, right? And we'll do the best we can to fill that.
And tell Dustin, give him an idea why we're doing it this way and not that online thing, because that's, while it seems more convenient, in this case it is, but if something goes wrong, so then there's no backup. Chick counts can be off and that kind of thing.
So with that being said, the reason why we are doing that, and that was a I had some other people that I was working with in with everything, and they're like, oh, you got to do online. And the more I got thinking about this, I'm like, no, we're not going to do this. I know some things have happened in the past with other people, right? And it got them into trouble, is more or less. And what happens is all those automatic orders just come pouring in, right? People are just ordering. And all before you know it, you can't stop that, right? In theory, right? So, I mean, this here, people, will fill out an order form of what they want, right? Put down, mail it to us. We will take, cash, check, credit card and all. And actually we're going to set up for a Zelle and PayPal account too. We'll be able to take all of that, you'll be able to place your order and get on a list and then put your respective date down, right, that you're wanting. If that date doesn't work, right, immediately, one of our staff, once we get that, either through email or in the mail, I mean, we're going to give you a call or shoot you back an email or something and say, hey, we can't do this date, but maybe we can do it the following week for you, right?
Exactly.
And that's why we want to do that. And then, going into all of that, we're going to go into more of that automation thing, right? A lot of clients that we work with and stuff do not have email access and stuff, but we do have a lot that do, and email and stuff. But we are, when your orders get ready to go out, you're going to get called, because I know I've been talked to on different things and here and there and say, oh, we didn't know that we ran into a problem with such and such, and all of a sudden the chicks just showed up, right? We want to help everybody that we can, the best we can, either to get you mailed out a postcard, the week before or something, 2 weeks before, and say, hey, we do have you down in our hatch book. You're going to be on this day and your chicks are going to be mailed out this day, or we're going to deliver them, or you're coming to pick them up, right? And of course, on the order form, we redesigned that a little bit. It's got 3 check marks, if you want to pick up at the farm, if you prefer delivery, right, and we can make a route out of it, we'll work on that for you. And of course, if you're out of state or a little far away or something like that, we'll ship to you. I am working with people out of Columbus, which is a fantastic thing. I know Bill and Kay always said they had some issues with out of Cleveland. I'm closer to Columbus here, so I'm working with the postmaster there and then my postmaster here. So we're working on getting all that logistics around to make sure that birds are getting out on time. We got to have them on the plane by 5:30. That was the biggest thing, right? And I wanted to keep all of their routine, how they hatched everything, because everybody was always so used to that for 43 years. And that was the first thing. I went to my postmaster and said, hey, can I do this, this? And he says, oh yeah. He says, as long as you have them there by 5:30, we're good. He says Monday through Friday. So we're able to keep the same hatching times, where we'll hatch on Tuesday, ship on Wednesday, pick up and delivery on Thursday. So Everything will move right along, right?
Yes, it will.
And then we also, I mean, there's a lot into the catalog. I won't really go into that, but as we go on, we'll probably have another one, and then get that where you guys can post a PDF of just not really the catalog or something, but the list of breeds that we're going to have and that people can see and stuff. And you guys can share that along. I'll get that put together for you. So
sounds good. All right. Well, what do you think this weekend? We got the High National. So,
oh yes, we do.
ABA National, High National, 8,100 birds, probably 3 times that in the sale barn, and the weekends are always a blur. God, I love to see them come, and then when I leave there on Sunday, I'm thinking, thank God it's over. So
It's over, right?
Yeah,
it is a lot of fun. It is, and
I've been at it ever since I got back. I did ABA stuff today. I loaded standards in the truck. Then, in the meantime, got to manipulate our own bird, so that'll happen tomorrow. And then Mike will be down here early Sunday. We took Camden out of school, so he'll be here.
Friday.
Friday. Friday.
Look, Matt's already getting to the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm coming home. But now tomorrow, I'm going over to Dustin's, do a little bit of video work and see how things look, and take him the birds that are going to people from me. That way, that's one less thing. I know where they are. I don't have to go hunting. I know they're in the trailer.
You've got that big trailer to put them in.
Got that big trailer, so they'll be in there. And then I'm going from there to Matt's. Would impose on him tomorrow night and stay in my bedroom.
Mike has his own room here since Emily's gone.
So I'll be there.
Does Francine go in there and stay with him, Matt?
Yep.
No, right. She sleeps right outside the door. I mean, when I wake up, she is at the door.
She's there.
I get to kick Red out sometimes. Red wants in there, so.
Yeah, that's actually Red's room. So you're.
Yeah, Red's
the cat.
The cat.
Yeah. So and then we're gonna hopefully get out of your place around 9ish. Cam's gonna be down by 9, and he lives a whopping, what is that, a mile and a half, maybe?
Yeah, just down the road a little bit.
Just down the road. So we're gonna go down the road early and be there. And I mean, there's
going to be a coffee and donut delivery. Since you
all right, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And then stop by the ABA table.
I like that donuts.
Oh yeah, we had the auction going on. Plus we got other stuff. Karen has some surprises. So Steve Wozniakowiak is our clothing vendor, and we got aprons and some new stuff coming to the table. So it always seems like that's our big apparels. I know I wait every year to go down there and use my Bantam bucks, and I got them right here.
I've got a stack of them right here too.
And normally what happens is I'm glad I said that, because I usually forget them, and then it just piles up till next year. But I got some here to take and find something to buy. But I know we're getting new aprons, so that was what we wanted to do, was get a snazzy judging apron or cleaning chicken apron or whatever you want to call it. And the vests, I know she didn't order more of those, but she's got several left. Those are real popular. I think new hoodies coming, some different shirts, so all that stuff sells well. The new standards will be there. I got a truckload of them back out there already loaded up. I think that the Canadians that are coming, there'll be yearbooks for those people. So and anybody that just joins at the show will get the last yearbook. But any Canadian members coming down to stop by the table, she's going to have a thing there to sign, get a yearbook. So I think that's about it. That's all I can think of. The auction. And then don't forget the artwork auction will be Saturday. We'll have the ABA general meeting around 3:30 on Saturday. The junior awards at 4:00, and then right at 5 they start with that art auction. So it's going to be a busy day there Saturday up until that's over with. So
yeah, exactly.
Yep. So be there or be square.
Yeah, it's probably not one to miss. I haven't missed many of them over the years, but this definitely is one you want to be.
I think this is the most birds we've ever had of a standalone ABA national.
Yeah, I think I haven't got the final Bantam numbers from Newt yet, but it may be the largest class of Bantams ever exhibited that wasn't at a joint national.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's going to be close if not. So y'all come out. You know what we look like, unfortunately. So bad.
We're all going to be there. Come talk to us. Dustin will be there. He'll probably be close to the Rogier's booth. I just found out Rogier's bought out Smith's Poultry Supply, so they'll have 2 spaces there. So they'll have their they're the dealer for Kuiper Coops now, since that changed around a little bit. So they'll have Kuiper Coops there. I know Dustin was amazed at how many of the show carriers they sold at Arkansas. They sold clear out.
Caitlin, I was talking to her on Monday. She said, she said, even they took all the pre-orders, whatever they had, right? And then I don't know how many they packed in prior, but she said they sold completely out before noon on Saturday in show carries. And if anybody knows the Rogers, they carry a lot of stuff. They don't usually sell out in anything. Like there's lots and lots of stock. That's the way they've always been. It's the way, that's how you can do it, right? When you go to buy something, you want to buy it. You don't want to have to ship to you or something, right? But they were just, Kaylin said she was just flabbergasted. She could not believe that they sold that many of them, right?
I know. I told Timmy he needed roller skates because he made about 500 trips while I was
back and forth. I remember you saying
trailer.
that.
Yeah. Yep. He got said, man. He goes, yeah, I know. He goes, that's why I'm so skinny.
Yep.
So they'll be there. Guys,
we're not doing the trailer run. We don't want to be skinny that bad.
No.
The whole vendor thing in the hallway is full.
Yes.
So from what I've heard, there's going to be lots of folks out there selling their wares.
Are you banging your cup?
Am I?
Are you yeah.
I'm bringing my Bantam Bucks.
You bring his Bantam Bucks.
Quit smacking that on the table because it sounds like someone's trying to get in the door, a tin door.
Is the dog barking?
No, it's whatever that ping 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 was on the table.
There we go.
Kind of that.
Yes,
all right,
that's 8 cups of coffee. Can you tell?
Yeah, just a little bit. All right, everybody. Dustin, thanks for being here, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day.
The whole weekend.
My God. That's cruel and unusual punishment for anybody. But I don't have to sit in the truck with you for 14 hours or however many days that trip took. I'm not real sure. So, but anyway, enjoyed it. Hope everybody liked the recap. Looking forward to what's coming. And remember, Eagles nest hatchery. Keep your eyes open.
Make sure you tell Grandpa I said congratulations on 65 years of 4-H, by God.
I'll let him know.
All righty. Well, y'all have a good day. We'll be back next week with some more wonderful news, I hope.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you all.
I'm not going to tell you what because we don't even know, but
we don't even know yet, right? But there's going to be a lot.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.